Welcome back to One Rock at a Time podcast. I'm Caley.
And I'm Paul.
Today, I got to choose the topic, and I chose to talk about women in media. We're specifically going to focus on 90s and 2000s, and we'll work a little bit of present day because we definitely have that too. But I thought I grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, and the way that women were portrayed in the media was crazy.
It was not good. Like the little bits that I remember, like they were saying some serious messed up stuff about ladies.
I have my notebook, and it's full of just pop stars, actresses, but also topics that like pertain to real everyday people. We're going to jump right in. This is going to be a lot of education for Paul.
That's me.
Before we get into that, how was your week?
I mean, it wasn't the best.
No.
My grandma died last week, so I've been feeling that through. Not necessarily the best. She was, old, so we anticipated it. But I realized a lot of stuff that I was saying was like, yeah, we knew it was coming. And then Kaylee told me, what'd you tell me?
He said, I didn't really know her that well. She was really old. And I was like, and we knew it was coming. I was like, yeah, I knew my parents were dying. And like, I knew when my parents were going to die, and it did not make that any easier, any better. Mm-hmm. It still sucks. Death is death, and it sucks regardless. So you got to feel it. And you're deflecting because that's what men do best, is not feel their feelings and then punish the world around them. So rather than doing that, let's feel our feelings, Yeah.
Like she told me that. And then 3 hours later, I snapped at her on something I really shouldn't have. And that's exactly what I was doing. And then we had a nice conversation about it. And then I sat down and felt my feelings, and it was sad.
When I tell you, we had the longest fight of our life.
It was a good 2 hours.
Oh my God. And we were not understanding each other at all. It was beyond ridiculous. And to be honest, I don't even remember it. Do you remember it? What was it about?
We were actually talking about this topic.
Oh my God. Okay.
Just to break into this topic.
All right. Yeah. This is actually a good prelude. It's my turn to pick a topic, because some of his topics just kind of can be a little dreary for me, but they're necessary topics, and I know that. Let's talk about women in media, because it is still so fucking relevant, and I will show you how later. Mm-hmm. I was expressing things that I saw growing up. I was talking about women in the media, singers and movie stars and all this. And I asked him, I'm not a man, as a man, what did you notice about men in the media?
I guess I didn't listen to that last sentence. So the last thing I heard was how women were portrayed in the media. I was like, my household was bad. I was not a part of that.
He snapped at me, and he was like, there was literal domestic violence happening in my household. I don't know anything about that. Basically, the way I took it from that, because I'm assuming he heard me ask directly, hey, as a man, what are some references in media from men? Mm-hmm. What did the patriarchy project onto you, And he snaps at me, because he was rude about it. And when someone snaps at you like that, first of all, you're like, what the fuck? And then second of all, he was like, I don't know, there was literal domestic violence happening in my house. And I took it as bitch, I had bigger problems. And and I grew up in an abusive household as well. So I was like, yeah, I watched movies and shit to escape. Mm-hmm. Fuck you.
You ain't the only one, bitch.
I was just I know that you played video games, which is another, they portray men in video games. They portray women in video games poorly, might I add.
Women's armor in video games would not protect you. Mm-hmm. All your vital stuff isn't protected.
Right. I'm sitting here knowing that he used video games to escape, and we had a whole argument because you shouldn't have assumed the worst in me. You weren't listening to me. He was like, well, why didn't you see if I understood the question? I was like, I thought it was a fairly straightforward question, and your answer just led me to think that you were upset because you just lost your grandmother and you were just angry.
Yeah, and you were so cool about it too. The first thing you said was, hey, I did not like that.
I said, hey, I know you're going through a lot, but what? If you want to talk about your past and stuff, we can absolutely do that. And you could just say, hey, I don't really want to talk about this right now. I want to talk about my sadness. But instead you snapped at me and you were like, bitch. No. He didn't say bitch.
I did not.
Just know that he never calls me bitch. I add bitch to myself.
I like to say that in jest. Like we've snuck that in on occasion whenever like bitch. It's real funny.
He does it rarely, very rarely, because I'm like, don't fucking call me that.
Yeah, I think it's really inappropriate to downplay women that way.
Yeah, so we got into a big fight.
Yeah, it was a pretty big fight.
Round and round, and I was like, I'm tired. You know what? It was just one of those where I was just like, you know what? I'm wrong. You're right. I don't care. I don't want to fucking do it anymore. And that didn't please him either. There's no pleasing you.
Well, because that's not a good way to communicate.
No, but
the reason why we do so well is because when there is something that bothers us, we don't do that.
I know, but we were going round and round, and he's like, well, you should have thought better of me. And I was like, well, you know, how am I supposed to think better of you when you have a pattern of not listening to me? And that is, in fact, what happened. You didn't hear my question.
It got so bad that I actually went and took a hearing test. My hearing's perfect, but I have some sort of like auditory processing problem.
No.
Listen, I want to diagnose myself.
Okay, first of all, the hearing test was like a year ago. Okay, so this fight, he has had issues with hearing me. Mm-hmm. That's selective. He says he has an auditory processing disorder, but he is not a doctor.
I'm not.
So
self-diagnosed.
Until he's actually diagnosed, you're not off the hook, buddy.
Yeah.
Sorry. And I'm like, I complained about you not listening to me, and then you in fact did not listen to me, mm-hmm. And then you know what? He was going through a lot, and he has this like weird thing where like I feel like he gets really worked up about like being the one to blame. He doesn't want to take not that he never takes responsibility, because he does, but he had a lot of stuff pinned on him like as he was growing up, and especially as an adult, like he took the blame for a lot of things, and that can be hard and that can be a burden. And I'm like, I'm not blaming anyone. I'm saying like, because I was literally like, I thought we had like come to a conclusion. I was like, this was a misunderstanding on both of our parts. Mm-hmm. You didn't need to snap at me. Next time I will try to clarify that you heard my question. I was like, but nothing in your response made me think he didn't hear me. Yeah. You responded, and you responded not in the best way, but not in a way that would lead me to think you didn't understand my question. Mm-hmm. So it was a miscommunication, and I kept trying to tell him that, and he was just like, nah.
And another thing.
Yeah, he was just spitting venom, and I was just like,
I felt better after we got done with the conversation, at least.
Good. And I was like, why? Like, he was so spicy to me, and I was like, his grandmother just died.
Dead grandma's dead. Dead grandma's dead.
R.I.P. Gam Gam. I was, woo. But
I love you so much, and thank you for taking care of me.
We got through it, and we both agreed that it was a miscommunication.
For sure.
And if you ever talk to me like that again, I swear.
Yeah.
But anyways.
So that's how the week started. Grandma died, got in a fight.
Not because Grandma died. But
no, because I wasn't dealing with my feelings.
Are you about to cry?
A little bit.
Why?
Because like
of dead grandma, or because you...
Because rehearing that conversation now, I realize how much I was in the wrong, and then how much it took for us to have that conversation and not kill each other.
Dude.
Like, we didn't... I don't think we actually got to a point where we wanted to fight. Sure, it was a heated conversation, but it ended up with mutual understanding, and I feel like we both got something better out of it.
I'm a fire moon, and I just have to say, it took every ounce of my being to just... I was like, I'm so proud of how calm I am. I'm not a yeller in general at all. I'm not a yeller. But
I might have heard you yell like 4 times total.
Yeah, but
2 of them were like games.
Anyways, I don't get like mad like that. Like when I get mad, I cry. Like I'm not a yeller, and I typically stay relatively calm. Okay, because my mother did not stay calm in my childhood. It was not her thing. So I was calm, and so I was so proud of myself because my fire moon was fighting. It was fighting to come out. It was like, kill him, and I was like, no. My air son was saving your ass. You're so welcome.
Thank you, air.
Because I was like, damn, I want to kill this motherfucker. But I'm also a Gemini, so...
I'm going to get it. That just means I'm going to get it in the future.
I'm a Gemini sun, Leo moon, Sagittarius rising. And you know who else is a Sagittarius? Taylor Swift. You don't fuck with that bitch either, okay?
You know who's a Gemini? Kendrick Lamar. I'm going to get it.
Donald Trump, too. And Kanye West.
Those vindictive sons of guns.
But I think me and Kendrick are more kindred. I'm definitely not like those other two.
Y'all are about the same height. You like the same pants. Those are the two things I know about Kendrick.
I love him. Anyways, so that was your week.
Yeah, that was most of my week was me putting off my feelings and making my wife, be upset for no reason, and I shouldn't have. I love you so much.
I'm really glad that he is, reflected on that fight and sees it the way that I was seeing it the whole fucking time.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes when you do something wrong, you gotta make sure you look back at it and be like, oh yeah, that was a problem, and make amends for it.
Okay.
And then how was your week, babe? Did you make bread this week?
I did.
I saw you redo Juno a couple times.
I made sandwich bread. I made 2 loaves of sandwich bread.
Oh yeah, that's what I made the burgers
I made another cinnamon raisin loaf.
Yeah.
And then I need to bake tomorrow too, because I need some regular sourdough, because I want to start making avocado toast, because that's like, yeah.
We need more sandwich bread.
I know. I'll make some tomorrow.
Just so you know, critically acclaimed now. She brought this cinnamon raisin loaf up to a friend for a birthday, who brought it to her whole office, and they loved it. Up to 9 people at this party we went to were like, yeah, it was dope.
No, 9 people at the party didn't say that.
I'm sorry, 2 people from the party representing 9 people.
Okay, got it. So my week it was okay. I'm butting heads with some people this week, and it's fine. You included. Yeah. I had some not so fun run-ins. That's all I'll say. Which is, people were trying me, and I started my period. So on top of that, and then yesterday I went to the gym, and I was doing leg day, and I was so excited. I was like, yeah, because I've been on my gym shit, and I'm like going, and I'm being regular with it, and I feel good. Okay. And then I was squatting, and then I didn't feel so good anymore. I was like, wow, I feel lightheaded. And then my cramps just set in, and I was like, yeah. And it wasn't the cramps that you could just push through. So I'm going to have to go to the doctor about that, because they're getting really bad. I have a pretty high pain tolerance.
Yeah, you do.
And I was a big-ass baby.
She was, like, falling over. If someone that is strong and, like, fights through shit says they're in pain, you better take that shit serious.
Yeah, so we had to drug me up, and I laid with the heating pad, but it was awful.
Yeah. I drank a margarita today, and it hurt my tummy, and I was just as big as a baby as she was.
He does not have a high pain tolerance.
I would like to think I do. I've had, like, stuff follow me.
Okay.
What?
You're crying.
My baby was hurt.
I'm okay.
Listen.
Do you need a minute?
No. Stop pointing it out.
I can't.
You can't point it out? Exactly. Stop.
Okay. You know what? The week was the week. It's going to be better. Mm-hmm. And now let's get on to more sad shit.
Wait, more?
Well, women in media. It's tragic, okay? I'm not going to ask him the ill-fated question of what were men like in the media just yet. I'm not ready to get my feelings hurt again.
Sorry.
So instead, I was born in 1992, okay? Which means I'm like 29, okay?
Don't do the math. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. So growing up in the 90s, there was this thing called like heroin chic, which was... It was the age of supermodels, and people were super skinny, and that was like that's what was represented to me.
Mm-hmm. I really hope that as an 8-year-old, you didn't know what heroin was.
No. I did know Kurt Cobain, so I was like a degree of separation away from heroin,
Okay.
Because I knew of Kurt Cobain. I did really like Nirvana because my mom did play Nirvana too.
Gotcha. Did he die of a heroin overdose?
No, but he did.
He killed himself, yeah?
Did he do heroin? He did heroin.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm thinking of Sid Vicious. He died of heroin overdose. Well, lots of them did, but
Cobain, cocaine.
Cobain. Who the hell is Cobain?
I've been saying his name wrong.
Kurt Cobain.
Hold
on 1 second. Did Kurt Cobain do heroin? Because I'm pretty sure he did. He was dating Court. Yes. He struggled with heroin. Yes, he did. I'm correct. Okay.
You knew.
I knew.
I don't know about people and drugs.
Right. So growing up, I listened to the pop girlies. I listened to Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Jessica Simpson. And one thing about like the 90s and 2000s, if there was like, they made it seem like there was only room for one girl in pop music at all times. Like they were always battling for the top spot. And yeah, you could say we had the Backstreet Boys versus NSYNC, but
that was still 5 dudes.
Right. But the media was also, like, yeah, they were pitted against each other a little bit. It wasn't to the extreme that I feel like the women were. Yeah. Because those two, Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, like, they were still getting mad radio play no matter what. They were getting, like, their concerts were sold out. And Britney Spears obviously was getting mad radio play, her concerts were getting, sold out. Then, there comes Christina Aguilera, Genie in a Bottle, and that was great. She has an amazing voice, vocally superior to Britney Spears. They're doing similar things, but they are very different. And instead of like celebrating those differences, it was just like a comparison game the whole time. And then there was Jessica Simpson, strong voice as well, but she wasn't quite as popular. Then we had Mandy Moore, not as popular as well. I fucked heavy with Mandy Moore. I loved her.
Do you think there was either written or unwritten rules on the radio station that they could only play X number of lady songs an hour, and that's why they were battling?
No.
Okay.
I don't think that's it. I think it's more of a patriarchal thing to have women fighting each other, because if you have them fighting and that they're enemies, then they're not looking at the man. Do you know what I mean? Like they're blaming each other rather than the man who's setting the system up.
Okay. Like
that's going to come into play later. I think I want to talk about Britney Spears first, because she's a heavily publicized one that I think everyone has heard about. Britney Spears started in 1998, Baby One More Time. I was 6 when she came onto the scene, and I still I vividly remember everything about it. I especially remember her next album. I remember the Oops, I Did It Again video. I wanted that red latex suit so bad. You have no idea. That whole she had that like white eyeshot. Makeup was perfect.
What's the one with like the pink dealies?
That's Baby One More Time.
Because she looked like a baby?
Right.
And they were sexualizing this person?
We'll get into that. Slow down.
I'm getting ahead of you? I'm sorry.
Okay, so Britney Spears, this is about to be a whole Britney Spears episode, pretty much. Britney Spears and other pop stars, like, one of the big things coming up was, are you a virgin? That was like one of the top questions that they would ask in interviews.
Yeah, what the fuck?
That's fucking weird, right? They would ask,
why are you asking children that?
And even after they were 18, they were still obsessed with, are you a virgin? Are you a virgin? And like, they're not asking guys this. And if they did ask a guy this and he was like, no, because the only correct answer for a girl at that time was, yes, I'm saving myself for love or saving myself for marriage. That was only correct. In the media, that was the only correct answer, I promise you. Or she would have gotten ripped up. Mm-hmm. But if a man's like, no, I'm not a virgin, he's praised, right? We know that whole cliche. Britney was asked if her boobs were real, because mind you, she started when she was 16. I don't know if she got a boob job, but I don't fucking care. By the time she was 19, her boobs were a little bit bigger, and everyone was like, oh, women do start to fill out after they graduate high school. And there's a whole lot of different reasons why her boobs might have gotten larger, but you definitely don't need to ask her about it. She was constantly asked questions like this. She was followed everywhere from 1998 because she blew the fuck up. So from 1998 until, and I have 2007 written down here. If I'm incorrect, I'm incorrect, but it's around that time that she has her infamous breakdown. A few years prior had like a 72-hour marriage. She had a very short marriage to her high school sweetheart in Vegas, and they annulled that really fucking quick. Her dad was like, absolutely not. And then she married this guy, Kevin Federline. Not the best dude. Again, while she's having his children, she has 2 children back to back. She's followed, like hounded. Do you remember how Princess Diana died?
In a car crash?
Why?
I don't remember.
Because paparazzi were chasing her through a tunnel in Paris. Paparazzi are the reason that Princess Di died. What? They were chasing her and her lover through a tunnel in Paris, and she crashed. Like they crashed because think of flashing lights, like, and then being chased, like there's people on motorcycles, cars, all paparazzi chasing her. Wow. Okay.
And they didn't outlaw that shit after that?
I think they did change some shit. Europe has different laws there than, I don't know what they are. I will look into it. The amount of money newspapers and like People magazine would pay you to get pictures of your children was crazy. They wanted celebrity children, especially Britney Spears is a huge fucking deal. And mind you, she's postpartum and she still has a music career. People are criticizing every move she makes in general because she's a woman. And then a paparazzi was like chasing her when she had her baby, and she just like hurried and like put her baby in her lap and drove off. Didn't put the baby in the car seat. Not the best move, but also like she was being chased by men with cameras. And it all boiled down to her infamous breakdown, shaves her head, attacks a paparazzi with an umbrella, that whole, you've seen pictures. So rather than address the issue of, holy shit, maybe we should give her a break. Maybe we should, like, stop following her and her kids around, which a lot of actresses have now petitioned for stricter laws for their children, and they've been successful. Like Blake Lively, Jennifer Garner have all petitioned for privacy for children, because it was fucking nuts.
Yeah, they should make it to where if you sell a picture of someone's kids, then the kids get any money you make for the next year.
That'd be a good idea. But maybe just don't take pictures of people's kids. It's weird.
Yeah, what the I'm upset about it.
So she has a breakdown, which ultimately ends with her being thrown into a conservatorship, in which she was freed a few years ago. And that's another thing.
The conservatorship was like her dad took over everything in her life. Mm-hmm. So effectively, it was indentured servitude.
Yes, but women are also more likely to be placed in a conservatorship than men.
Really?
Uh-huh. Amanda Bynes and Britney Spears conservatorship. There's probably so many that I'm forgetting. Kanye West, why is he not in one?
Yeah, dude's messed up. He's not in a good place.
And that's my point. Like, Britney acted out and gets put in a conservatorship. Amanda Bynes acts out, gets put in a conservatorship. Kanye West has been acting out for years. Nothing's happening to him. Mm-hmm. The world was made for men to succeed. Britney Spears is kind of like she was a blueprint, okay? There's some other stuff going to happen. We're going to go back just a little bit to the pitting of women, like, against each other. Okay. 2005 era, Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, mm-hmm. Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. He has an affair on the set of that movie. Sorry, they totally weren't doing anything until after he and Jen broke up, which nobody believes, and that's fine. It's PR spin. But
in the movie, they make out. He was definitely making out with her.
But so Jen Aniston and Brad Pitt were married. I believe they got married around 2000. By 2005, they're getting divorced, and the news is abuzz that he was cheating with Angelina. And they do enter a relationship shortly after this. I remember walking around my junior high, seeing girls wearing Team Jen, Team Angelina shirts. At the time, obviously, I was like, haha, that's so funny. Now looking back, I'm like, damn. Like,
that's messed up.
We really were just out here profiting off of Jen Aniston's pain and Angelina's pain a little too, because I'm sure, like, I'm not saying what she did was right, but I don't believe that someone else's husband is the love of your life. Okay? So
hopefully your husband is the love of your life.
Yes, shut up. That's all happening. Nobody's looking at Brad. All the papers, all of the magazines are talking about Jen, talking about Angelina. Nobody's talking about this fucked up thing that this man did. Mm-hmm. We're talking about, like, we're calling Angelina a slut, saying all these things, calling her a whore, mm-hmm. a homewrecker. It takes two, and he was willing to wreck that home. He wrecked it himself, because if it wasn't Angelina, he would have wrecked it some other way.
And just before that, I think, like, the media really found out that they could make a profit off of just throwing a lady down a corner, because the Monica Lewinsky scandal happened just a couple years before that, didn't it?
In the 90s, yeah.
In the 90s. And she was like the first person that I remember hearing about. And they're like, well, why do you like her? And as a kid, because I was fucking 10 at the time, there was some sort of scandal where there was Bill Clinton, who was the president.
He had sex with an intern.
Yeah. Something to do with a cigar. And, like, people were talking...
The blue dress.
Yeah, apparently with stains on it. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I didn't know what that was. Now learning about it, it's real messed up that was, like, on public news. Like, they were really talking about this.
Well, that was her evidence.
Why is that televised? Why is that something that is...
But she was villainized. And actually, Monica she has a podcast now. She was the one who did we watched that documentary.
Yeah, there was a documentary about people that once you get into the news for something that's not quite the full story, the news will, like, take it and effectively ruin your life.
Mm-hmm. That's another good example of the media and women, because, like, Bill Clinton's, he's not been persecuted in the way that she has. This whole time she's been called a whore, a slut, mm-hmm. and there's been, like, nothing for him. Yeah,
there's so many jokes about it. Somebody just posted a meme that the president's desk hasn't seen this much action since Lewinsky was there.
Yep.
which is ridiculous. I mean, they were relating all the executive orders to someone taking advantage of a younger person and really taking advantage of their seat of power, which that is actually a really good metaphor. The American people are getting fucked, and Monica Lewinsky was as well. Really just overreaches of power left and right.
Anyways, how women are portrayed in the media, it trickles down, right? It's like, it makes people view women a certain way, okay? Yeah. So regular schmegular women, if I got abused or raped, it's going to be turned around on me because that shit happens in the media, right? Like, and that's, the media spins things and then spins things that makes women look terrible. And that's kind of the world in which like regular people grew up. I tolerated men touching or boys touching my butt in school and doing all these things because nobody's gonna believe you, or I'm the whore who wore a skirt or whatever. You
see it in movies. You hear that oh, that just means he likes you.
No, that's not what it means. The number one thing that really affected me and my friends was like the unrealistic beauty standards in which the media portrayed and projected onto women. I just paper after paper and magazine after magazine, because like newspapers were a lot bigger then and magazines were a huge deal. There would be tabloids of just anybody you can think of. Jessica Simpson's mom jeans, she was a size 4 and they posted Jessica Simpson fat. Jessica Simpson let herself go. All these things happen, like all these article titles happening. Jennifer Love Hewitt, size 2. They get a picture of her at the beach, like enjoying her vacation. She has cellulite because
that's a natural part of a human body.
Normal people have cellulite, and she's fat and just waiting and like going to tropical places just to find a celebrity in their bathing suit to ridicule them or to sexually objectify them, or sometimes both. And that really like affected, like, we had obviously I talked about the heroin chic in the 90s. Then we had the low-rise jeans of the 2000s, which if you did not have a perfectly flat stomach, holy shit, like.
Can we talk about the headlines? I don't remember reading any of those magazines just because, growing up as a young boy, I wasn't interested in it. They were talking about new diets, new things to do, new things to eat to get skinny. 5 ways to cut down your size.
I got that right here.
You got that right there? Babe.
So, Anna Nicole Smith, you know how I always sing or go, trim spot, baby?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a weight loss shake. There's like the Atkins diet. There's Weight Watchers was a huge one.
Slim Fast?
Slim Fast was another version of like Trim Spa, yes. And I'm someone who has struggled with like eating disorders. And so now I am like, I do not fuck with that shit, right? Like the Trim Spas, the Weight Watchers. It's a personal trigger for me. More power to you. If you do the Weight Watchers, I have a friend that does it. She loves it. Me personally, I can't do it. I can't track calories. It's not my thing. I can't drink, like, I won't go get like I don't like Slim Fast. I do get the Fairlife protein shakes. Yeah.
But that's more to supplement your protein and to make sure you're getting enough, because it's really hard to get.
I don't do it as a meal. That is not my meal, because y'all can eat. I promise you can eat and you should eat. And I drink those shakes if I'm not getting enough protein.
I follow a guy named, I think it's Sean Casey. He's from Scotland or somewhere in the UK. Maybe not Scotland. But he constantly does like 6 weeks of just eating stuff with potatoes in every meal. 6 weeks of just eating sandwiches. And he can show that, like, as long as you're staying healthy and not or watching your calorie count, you will lose weight. And it's to really destigmatize certain foods. You need carbs. Your brain needs glucose. It's important.
Growing up, for me and a lot of my friends, I know for sure, our weight was a big part of our lives. And because the media was portraying, and if you're calling Jessica Simpson fat, if you're calling Jennifer Love Hewitt fat, Britney Spears was called fat, all these things, they're constantly, or too skinny, whatever it is, what are people thinking about me? Because that's a famous pop star, and even she's getting like so much hate. So like the world must hate me. And my mom's generation like was honestly maybe a little bit worse. My mom projected a lot of her like insecurities onto me, and I don't know if you had that experience with your mom as well, was constantly worried about my body and my weight and her weight, and she never had a good like healthy relationship with food. Being a woman and growing up in the 90s and 2000s, and I'm not saying it's much better now, it was lawless out there. Like it really was. It has gotten, I will say it has gotten better.
Thank you, cancel culture.
Yes, thank you. It has gotten better, and we always have work to do. I'm never going to say it's perfect.
I remember in like 2010, I had just gotten a car that had Sirius XM, and like I was flipping through the channels, and Howard Stern was on. This dude would ask girls to get on a scale while he was there.
Anna Nicole Smith.
Why would you do that? What does her weight have anything to do with you? Dude was trying to rile people up.
I don't know if he's changed, if he's any different. I don't care. I want him off the air. I think the shit that he did to people, like, is so harmful, and I don't think he should be platformed, and that's just my opinion. Y'all are going to do what y'all going to do at the end of the day, but Howard Stern sucks.
Yeah, I did not like that.
But yeah, Howard Stern was a good one. I love Bridget Jones, okay? Yeah. I ride or die for Bridget Jones' Diary. Those are some of my favorite movies, right? When Renee Zellweger, she crushed it. That accent, because she's from Katy, Texas.
Really?
Yes.
You don't say.
That accent, perfect. But she gained weight for the role. When I tell you that girl was fat, and she stepped on the scale, 136. And I said, that hurt my feelings. I weigh more than that. That hurt my feelings. What the fuck? That was fat.
Which is ridiculous. Every person, every body is different depending on how much muscle, how much bone you carry, how much water you naturally carry. Weight is an illusion. That's not something you should...
Right, but whenever you're growing up in the 90s and 2000s and in this world in general, people are valued based on their looks, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. You showed me a video. She was at some event, and someone was talking about her body. Was that her, Renee Zellweger?
Oh, that was Kate Winslet.
Okay. I apologize. I don't know that person.
Yes, you do. She's
I didn't. Yeah. I didn't understand, I thought they were the same person.
No, Kate Winslet's actually from England.
Oh, that's on me. Blonde with an accent.
Anyways, yeah, Kate Winslet was like ridiculed for an outfit she wore with Leo at one of the award shows, and she was deemed fat by Hollywood, and she still. I hope she's not considered that anymore, but for a long time she was considered a heavy actress. Kate Winslet's not heavy by any means. Her body has been commented on for far too long. It's disgusting, and that's what's wrong with the world.
People feeling comfortable to remark on other people's bodies is a problem.
But they're not doing it to men. Like when they were asking Scarlett Johansson if she wore underwear with her outfit. Like I asked her, and like, you didn't ask any of the men shit like that. And like, their shit was tight too, bro. Mm-hmm. You can't wear fucking boxer briefs with some of that shit. Yeah. But you know what? I don't need to fucking know. I can use my imagination. I came to that conclusion myself. I actually didn't think about his underwear until you talked about Scarlett Johansson's underwear, weirdo. Like, what the fuck? And
I don't remember if it was Benedict Cumberbatch or if it was Robert Downey Jr., but one of the people like called out an interview on air. I was like, what are you talking about? That was really rude. Were you going to ask us the same thing?
I don't remember.
Somebody did. It's a problem. I don't know why they feel comfortable enough to talk about other people's bodies.
We're getting into the Disney girls. You ready?
Ooh, Disney girls.
The era is like 2008 to like, we're getting into the 2008 to 2011 era.
2000 late now?
2000 late. We got a couple scandals, okay? Miley Cyrus. She's smoking salvia, I believe, which is like chemical weed.
Synthetic marijuana, yeah.
Yeah. She's caught smoking that, and she's forced to give an apology.
Ridiculous.
Because she's a Disney girl. Forced to give an apology for just being a teenager. Vanessa Hudgens, her nudes get leaked. She is forced to apologize for some asshole leaking her nudes.
There's a rare positive note right now. Ted Cruz, still don't forgive you. Ted Cruz is actually championing a bill, I think it's called like the Take It Down Act, that will criminalize more heavily on revenge porn.
Oh, good. Because he's probably got a sex tape out there or something.
Who would do that to that man?
He would benefit from, like, I don't think he does anything out of the kindness of his heart, okay? So we've got, like, the Disney girls forced to keep a squeaky clean image.
Which is ridiculous. If somebody that you trusted shares something that you gave to them with the world, that they betrayed your trust and you have been hurt and torn up, the person we should be really upset with is that fella, not you. You shouldn't be the one making that apology. There was a plot line of that, like a little arc with Keeley in Ted Lasso, and that really tore me up. Yeah. That her girlfriend was like, yeah, put this apology out. What? How do you not have empathy for your girl?
Yeah, why am I apologizing for this happening to me? I've been violated.
A victim.
Yeah, I've been violated.
If I get hit by a car, I should not write a letter to Toyota and say, I'm sorry, Toyota, for being in the way of that car.
Yeah, Disney girls were forced to keep a squeaky clean image. There was always a new up-and-coming girl because you got to keep it moving. The girls were just pressured to be perfect, and reinvention was a huge thing. Taylor Swift is one of the people I think about because she speaks on it in her documentary Miss Americana about how women are constantly like having to reinvent the wheel, change who they are, change the way they dress. That's kind of why her eras started, like why you can tell different looks are from different eras. She really, every time she released an album, things changed with her. The sound, her hair, her clothes, all of that changed because people get bored. People get tired of seeing women in the spotlight. Madonna had to reinvent herself a whole lot to stay relevant. Britney Spears. It's just a never-ending cycle, and it's not really the same for male performers. George Strait's been doing the same shit for like 40 years, and everyone's like, yeah, fuck yeah.
He gets someone else to write a song, and then he buys it, and he sits on a stool and strums.
And I'm not saying that you should have to reinvent yourself and be something different and be shiny and be new to someone. But I am saying that is the pressure that a lot of women have, is to be different, is to be shiny, is to be new. And like, that's even regular people. Like, you're going to get bored of us. Like, that's a whole fear that I have. Like, you'll get tired of me. You're going to get sick of me. Yeah, that's why, like, there's so many, you can see different pop stars, different eras, and, like, how they've changed over time. That comes into, what also comes into play is, like, overexposure. If you disappear for too long, they forget about you. If you're around too long, they don't want to see you anymore. You annoy the piss fuck out of them, right? Jennifer Lawrence is a good example of that. She was everywhere, and she was just being herself in interviews, and then people got tired of her. They completely turned on her. Another good example of that is Anne Hathaway. There was a whole Anne Hathaway hate train. Nobody can tell me why. Like, I still have friends to this day that are like, I don't like Anne Hathaway. Why? I don't know. Something matter. And I'm like, I guarantee you it's from the fucking mid-2010s when people decided that they didn't fuck with Anne Hathaway anymore. She was just annoying. And it was because she was in everything. And you're mad at her for being talented and getting casted in things. And now there's a whole Anne Hathaway renaissance happening where everyone loves her again.
Same thing with Taylor Swift. Like, I think people don't like her because she's too popular. Because she's getting all these accolades and things, which are well-deserved. She is an incredible artist, an incredible songwriter, incredible writer, and now a critically acclaimed movie director. She's a champion in everything she does. Well, but people want to piss on it for some reason.
Well, so she's even spoken on that. Like, she wants to keep doing this. She loves her job. She loves what she's doing. She loves writing, but she feels like she can only do it until, like, people, because if she shows up too much, people get sick of her. Like, she goes to an NFL game, people are sick of her. Which is your misogyny showing. Like, that's weird. That's not her fault. Speaking
of NFL, like, the same thing happens when they win too much. People don't like the Chiefs anymore because they won too many.
Which was just the Patriots. And, like, you think...
Patriots is the same thing. I hated the Patriots whenever I saw them in there for the 9th time.
I just don't like Tom Brady's face sometimes.
You know, that might have been it, actually.
Yeah, the Patriots were, like, overexposed, and I don't like sports. And I've had people recently try to explain to me why they hate the Chiefs, and it's because they believe that the refs are biased towards the Chiefs, and I would hope that's not the case. I can't prove it. You know what? But I just don't care about sports that much, and neither should you. You should not care that fucking much. Like, these men are getting paid millions of dollars, whatever.
It's a game.
I'm tired of it. It's
a game that kids play.
Shut up. Like,
and the people are concerned that refs are biased. That sounds an awful lot like being a poor sport. Like, you are finding an excuse. I don't know enough about the game to see whether or not refs are clearly being paid off. But there's, like, a whole commission for that, isn't there?
But, yeah, and also, like, some of the teams financially are better off than the Chiefs, I'm sure. Because I don't think Chiefs is the number one, like...
No idea.
Financial, you know, I'm sure there's other teams with more money that could buy off the refs. Why are they not doing that too? Mm-hmm. Whatever. I don't want to talk about sports anymore. That's so boring. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Taylor Swift is a prime example. And then when the Kanye West shit happened and...
Which time?
Okay, well, we know about the 2009 VMAs. He interrupts. And then there's some... Most of the people agree that Taylor Swift is personally victimized by Kanye West at that point in time.
Can you imagine? 'Cause how old was she at the time?
18, 19.
You're an 18-year-old girl. You're up there. You're excited. You won something. And someone that, you know, is real, is a big deal, is coming up. You're like, oh, cool. This is going to be a great thing. They're coming to congratulate me. No, they're telling me I shouldn't have won. Well, shoot. That's got to be disheartening.
Yeah, it was. It was for her. She was very upset. She wrote a song called Innocent. And, like, you know, you're 32. You're still growing up. Like, I forgive you. It was a whole you know, and then... They kind of worked it out a little bit, and then in like 2016, he released that song "Famous," and she got mad because he called her that bitch.
And he said that they might still bang.
Yes.
What the heck?
And she
was he married?
And then they said that yes, to Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian puts out an edited, which we now know is edited, puts out an edited video of Taylor being like, "Yeah, that'd be so cool," like, and then all like. She was basically like okaying it and saying that like, you know, everyone will think that she was going to have a problem with it, but then she's going to plug it, like whatever. No, she does say she doesn't want him to say that bitch, and she wasn't a fan of the sex line, and she was just, you know, she was hesitant towards it. Mm-hmm. But the edited clip doesn't show it that way. It shows very much that she was all on board, and that's what Kim Kardashian, oh, we'll get into you, bitch. They posted that. Taylor Swift was playing the victim again. Just everyone turned on her. Even I turned on her a little bit. I was like, damn, what's going on? Leaving snakes in her comment section. And then she disappeared. Nobody physically saw her for over a year. And she came back better than ever. And then the unedited raw footage got leaked. Everyone looked like an idiot, including me. So sorry, TJ.
It's important to admit when you're wrong.
Yeah, but that Reputation album went hard, okay? She's a perfect example of, like, the media turning on you and, like, making the world turn on you. You know what? We're going to throw some Kardashians in there, too, okay? I loved to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and that's still a guilty pleasure of mine. I'm not really keeping up with them anymore for a lot of reasons. I fear they're going to bring back the 2000s, you know, beauty standards. I know they're secret Trumpies, okay? I know they are.
Is it a secret?
I don't know. My issue is, look, guys, I get Botox in my forehead, and I get lip injections. I feel it's important to talk about those things.
Yeah.
I feel it is important for my daughter to grow up knowing that mommy paid for some of these parts.
Yeah. Gender affirming care is good for you. If it's something that makes you happy and doesn't hurt anybody, why should it be a problem?
Well, I feel like it's a problem when people don't disclose things, mm-hmm. Or pretend that it's all God-given, whatever, mm-hmm. or pretend that doing this glute exercise is the way that you got your ass to look like that. The reason I'm bringing the Kardashians into this is because it comes into play with regular people now, okay? So Kim Kardashian, we know she got a BBL, okay? That is not her butt. That's never been her butt. Butts don't look like that. She would have some legs to support that just a little bit, okay? And that's okay. Whatever you do with your body is your fucking choice, bro. I don't care. It becomes a problem when you deny it, and they all do. The only thing Khloe Kardashian is copped to is a nose job, and you have a whole different face. We don't need to know everything that goes into your life and every little Botox injection you get. No, we don't need to know that. But you don't need to come on here and straight up lie.
Yeah. Why are you lying?
Or you don't need to pretend you're drinking those skinny shakes, like tummy, I don't even remember what they're called. Not important. They were drinking these skinny teas. That's what it was. Skinny teas and stuff. And, like, that's not why y'all look the way that y'all look. There's some plastic surgery in there. You can pay for a personal trainer. You can pay for a nutritionist. All these things that they have access to. And I feel like the Kardashians and the Jenners promote unhealthy beauty standards. I feel like you have such a big platform and you have kids and daughters. I just feel like we all need to do better. Mm-hmm. And why Kim Kardashian comes into play is now we have an epidemic of fitness influencers that are getting BBLs and not disclosing, and not everyone is what?
When TikTok was getting shut down, there was those people that were like, since we're all gonna die, and there's a bunch of those influencers who are just like, I didn't do it. I did not do the workouts at all. I just posted them, and no, that's not, I didn't do those.
Right. So BBLs are rampant. Okay, that's okay. Don't care. Do you, boo boo? You know, you're posting your workouts, talking about like glute gains and all this shit, and just it wouldn't be a problem if you weren't kind of advertising that your program gives you that ass. Mm-hmm. Okay, but
it's false advertising. That's illegal.
People are finding out that they had a BBL, which again, not a problem. But when you're saying that your glute exercises while you're, yes, you have to maintain your body. You can't just get a mommy makeover or a BBL and never work out again, and it won't work out for you. I promise. Mm-hmm. Your workout is not why your butt looks like that. It's not the sole reason that your butt looks like that. And there are people that don't see that can't differentiate and can't figure that out for themselves. They believe you. People that are a lot more trusting than me. Yes, he would believe it. I know better, but a lot of people don't. Young people don't. My daughter should not be on any social media, but when she is, maybe she won't. I feel like it's our just job to do better for the younger generation. And like, I feel like we've made steps. Like TikTok it lets you know when there's a filter on, and I love that. Instagram lets you know when there's a filter. There's people that are now like putting the filter on and then like screenshotting so that you can't tell there's like, you can't see the filter. That's ridiculous.
Too many steps. Why are you trying to lie?
Yeah, but
I like that they started doing like the AI tags too. If something's made with AI, that way people can tell satire from other things now. As
much as I should say and can say, hey, like, just be aware not everything you see online is real. Everyone looks for community online somewhere. And if you're wanting to start like a weight loss journey, or you want to start meal prepping, it's hard. It's hard to find people that are being 100% honest. It's hard to find meal plans that aren't centered around diet culture and like eating disorders, because it's just a slippery slope. Women are portrayed in media, and it's still this way. We've made strides, and like I feel like a lot more people are vocal now, and they'll say like, hey, like that wasn't cool, like don't fat shame her. The media is still trying its hardest to pit women against each other. I'll say this for the Blake Lively situation. It's going to play out in court. It's going to do what it's going to do. I will never forget the women who turned on her so fucking quick. Y'all were ready. And whether or not, I don't know. At this point, I stopped ingesting this information because I don't know the whole story. I am inclined to believe her because there was multiple people that came out with sexual misconduct stuff on the set. It's going to play out in court. I'm going to figure it out. Whatever happens. I'm going to go out knowing that I didn't turn on her. Y'all were chomping at the bit too. Y'all were just ready to turn on her. And no, she's not perfect. Nobody is. The second this came out, y'all were just, yes, let's tear her down. Like, she's the worst, and dogpiling on her. And I think that's crazy. I think as women, I expected it from men. Do it. I don't care. Be on Justin's side. I don't give a shit. For women to jump on her like that, wow. Seek help. That's crazy.
The same thing when people were real upset that Taylor Swift attended the football games that her boyfriend was playing in.
Yep.
She was there to support her boyfriend. And people are just, she's ruining football. No, she's doing what you're supposed to do. Yeah. She's going there. She's being there for the people she loves. Taylor Swift will never see your comments. Your daughters will. Your daughters are seeing. They're seeing what you're saying.
Yeah, and like y'all booing her at the Super Bowl, like shut the fuck up.
Why?
Like men are so triggered by women in general, and a successful woman.
What did she do?
She's a billionaire. She's attending the games. NFL is putting the camera on her. NFL is a corporation, okay? It makes money. Do you know who sells records? Taylor Swift. Do you know who makes money? Taylor Swift. Do you know that right now, if I were to get on TikTok and I were to make Paul start listening to Taylor Swift, from day one and just have him have a listening party, we would go viral because Taylor Swift it just works like that. There's people that literally get on TikTok and get millions and millions of followers and millions of views because they are just listening to Taylor Swift for the first time. People love that shit. And she sells records, she sells tickets, she sells everything. Yeah, you're right. She's never going to see your comments. She shouldn't even fucking read comments. Like,
she shouldn't. There's too many. What do you think the Venn diagram looks like for the same people that voted for Trump and booed
the circle?
Circle?
The circle.
Yeah, the same people that don't like women at all and put a rapist in office.
It's a circle. And frankly, it's annoying. Like, get a hobby, get a life. If somebody being somewhere, like, ruins your whole fucking life, someone you don't even know ruins your whole fucking day, ruins football for... Actually, I hope she does. I hope she burns football to the ground. I hope nobody ever fucking touches a football again. And I hope I never have to sit through a fucking football game just to get to the concert in the middle ever again, okay?
Same Venn diagram. People that booed didn't like Kendrick's halftime show. You gotta look at stuff a little bit closer. I firmly believe that you don't know why you're upset. And if you looked even a little bit, we could figure it out. And it's not about what you think it is.
I think that the media is a big issue, and that's a big beast, but something we can do to like actually like make a difference. Well, for one, watch out for what you're consuming, okay? I've noticed that I started, for some fucking reason, TikTok started to push cleaning videos to me, okay, which is fine. Unfortunately, turns out most of these TikTok accounts that are like cleaning, I shouldn't be surprised, and like yelling at you for like it's yelling at you, bro. Like there's TikToks, I'll show you later.
I don't respond to that. I don't like that.
Of like they're trying to motivate you, and they're like, get up and clean your house. Like they're just that kind of messaging. Shut up.
Don't tell me what to do.
Also, big Trumpies, okay? They're outing themselves as Trumpies left and right, okay? That's a big thing. So watch what you're consuming. If you're getting a lot of cleaning and cooking videos, make sure that person's not a Trumpy. Unless you're a Trumpy and that's what you're looking for. In which case, why are you watching this right now?
Hopefully, it's because...
they want to learn... Shut up. You lie. They want to learn something new. That's the whole problem. That's why they're in the cult. They don't want to have any new information. Anyways, accounts. Watch out for who you're following. Do not follow little Herculette either. She's a Trumpy, okay? I'm just saying, I used to follow her. I unfollowed her so fucking quick. I was like, saw her repost. I was like, damn. I was about to buy from her clothing company too.
Did she repost something racist?
She's reposting a lot of RFK, Trump stuff. Yeah. So yes.
Racist. Got it.
But she got gender affirming care. She got a nose job and her boyfriend got a hair transplant. Fuck you, little Herculette.
We got squabbles up in here.
You're platforming Donald Trump, who's getting rid of gender affirming care. Get your old nose back.
Fun fact, the SAVE Act that's currently passed the House and is now going into the Senate, if you've changed your name
I saw that.
Yeah, there's going to be 96 million American women who will not be able to vote. You should probably fix that. That's how you like.
Some men too, because what about, like, we talked about Alexa Penavega, me and Yalen, and Carlos Penavega, they combined their last names.
Yeah.
He won't be able to vote either, and he voted for Trumpy too. So just make sure, watch what you're consuming. If you're consuming, like, someone who is yelling at you and telling you that if you want to be skinny, you have to do XYZ, don't watch that. Please, go somewhere else. You are never going to maintain a healthy body by crash dieting and like using words like I need to stay skinny, so I'm gonna go run on the treadmill. Like, just stop.
Crash dieting is named because you're gonna crash out.
Yep.
You're going to hurt yourself.
If you want to make a change, you have to make a whole lifestyle change. That's a mindset thing. You have to balance everything in your life. Not just your working out, not just your food. Going all or nothing is why people fail.
And that's why we started this.
And I don't even want to say fail. I'm sorry. I wouldn't say fail. Why those things don't work. And they leave you feeling like fucking garbage. Like, those diets leave you feeling like shit. Because if you don't succeed and can't maintain it, which is normal because what the fuck.
Then you did all this work for nothing.
As women, we need to... Please stop fighting other women. I'd probably fight a MAGA woman. Not physically, but...
Low Herculette.
We have to stop, like, fighting each other like crazy. Like, we are turning on each other. There's a fitness guru that I've known for years, okay? I'll just call her eatingdisorder.com because that's basically what she is. Kayla, I don't even know how to say her last name. She's, like, always promoted, like, 1,200 to 1,500 calories a day, blah, blah, blah. She is why a lot of women have eating disorders.
That's not good.
She's huge in the fitness community for years because she was, like, on YouTube. She was, like, one of the first fitness influencers. And now she came on to social media to complain about other fitness influencers. Like, she doesn't want her daughter seeing them, like, posting from, you know, the angle where they're, like, you can see their butt as they're doing, like, kickbacks and stuff. She doesn't want her daughter to see that, and, like, she's like, I'm just trying to have my morning coffee, and then I just see a butt, and blah, blah, blah. And mind you, like, she's also not guilty of doing that angle. It's just she's skinny and has no butt. So maybe that's why you're mad. I don't know. Squabbles. She's attacking a whole group of women. Now everyone's like, hey, you gave me an eating disorder, bitch. You're one to talk.
For reference, I'm a pretty big dude. Like, whenever I did a calorie calculation, just me breathing and being alive, I burn 1,200 calories a day. So walking, doing other stuff, I'm going to burn more than that.
God damn.
You need calories.
You do. I definitely eat way more than 1,500 calories.
A friend of mine was doing a diet where they had 600 calories a day. Do you know how much they fed the prisoners in Auschwitz? 600.
That's crazy. I guarantee you they were not doing 600 a day.
They did it for like a week, and then they got lightheaded, and then they stopped.
Because what the fuck?
Malnutrition is terrible. That's how much they give babies.
We're not helping this crisis. We're not helping the media. Well, we are actually helping the media do exactly what they want, is to pit other women against each other.
If we're fighting each other, we won't focus on the real big issues.
That's true.
Save Act. Call your congressman.
I don't know if that was concise or clear, or if I just told you a bunch of random pop culture facts, but...
I feel like we were just talking.
Oh, so I didn't do a good job.
I loved it.
So I didn't do a good job.
I loved it.
Yeah, but, like, educational-wise, like...
I mean, I feel like we've talked about enough of this already that I knew a lot of what we were saying.
Yeah, but, I mean, like, for someone who's watching this.
This is a good introduction. We're not, like, a heavy-hitting, we're, like, commentary. We're in the category of leisure.
Oh, okay. Cool.
If y'all want us to get more in depth, I would love to do that. We can bring up facts. We can bring up figures. We can do all sorts of stuff. I love data. We can make that happen.
It was hard, like, growing up under that media microscope that women were, like, you know, and I think it's affected women for around my age, especially. And then it's still getting worse because now we have access to daily social media, and there's just always a comparison game. And now with the current administration the way it is, and the way things seem to be going, it feels like we're going to take a huge step backwards. And it feels like that's happening now, and more women are just fighting each other, even with the Drew shit. Like, get off Drew Aflalo's dick, man. I'm so sick of it. Dude, like, she can't even fucking exist. She just had that big fucking thing with people saying, well, there'll never be a lesbian Drew, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. We have Drew. She doesn't need to be lesbian. She's fine the way she is. If she wants to be lesbian, cool. But she's got a man, and that's okay.
You ever think that maybe people are unique, and we shouldn't be looking for someone to fill that role in your specific niche, but instead look for someone else that's also cool?
She can have a man and still have great insight on decentering men.
Yeah, that's currently happening.
A fucking episode of her podcast from 2022 went viral around Valentine's Day, and it wasn't even from Valentine's Day. That's the kicker. It was just her chatting, and she's talking about, like, how important self-love is, and which
it is.
It's so important, like, for you to love yourself, because you, like, I fully believe that if you don't have enough self-love, you have no business, like, being in a committed long relationship with anyone. It's not gonna. That's just my belief.
I know it. Talked about that just the other day. You said something along the lines of, why didn't you come and take me away from this place sooner? I was like, well, I wasn't in a good place for that. I didn't understand what love was. I was a different person.
Yep.
I didn't realize I was sad.
All she was saying was, if you love yourself, you're going to demand more for yourself. You're going to respect yourself enough to not be with someone who doesn't respect you the way you should be. Self-love is a continuous journey. And she's in a relationship, she's engaged, and she's still working on her self-love. People went fucking crazy. She's got a man. How is she giving advice to single people? Who do you want the advice from then? If you don't want it from people in a relationship, you want it from another single person? Who are you wanting this from? I don't know what you want. Stop turning on fucking women. It's crazy.
When you go to collect marriage advice, do you go to the people that are married 40 years or the dude with 3 divorces?
Typically, they go to the man with 3 divorces and they're like, what'd you do wrong? Which is one way to do it, I guess. But
I mean, I've learned from a lot of people's mistakes, but the history books are telling us what we're doing right now are fucking up.
But you don't have to love yourself to be in a relationship. You don't have to. You can be in a relationship, but I promise you are settling. You are in a relationship where you're not happy.
Years. I did that for years.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky to have you, babe.
So that's all I have to say.
Well, there's more to say. That's all we're going to tell you today.
Yeah. I don't remember what my rock was last time. Do you?
We were both going to get more sleep.
No, I didn't do that.
No. I got like a sinus infection. I didn't feel good.
I think we got a little bit more, but not a lot more.
We started going to bed earlier, but then we also started waking up earlier. So the offset didn't work out. We did sleep in one day this week.
Did we?
Yeah, Saturday. I thought we slept in. We slept until 8.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Got the dogs to hush. You can tell we're yawning because we're sleepy now.
So I think my rock for this week is to actually get more sleep.
Hey, sometimes we got to carry that rock again, okay? We dropped it. Doing? I think it's to eat better. I realized this last week, Kaylee's been busy. The week previous. Whenever Caley doesn't meal prep and I'm in charge of food, it's rare.
I had dense bean salads ready until Saturday. Saturday was when we ran out.
Yeah, those were lunch. Whenever I was making dinner, I did not do balanced dinners.
I did.
I said, I will take care of dinner tonight, babe. You're doing stuff. I want to do it. I need something to do. And you know what I did? Not provide vegetables, and I needed to. So it's whenever I choose not to have boy dinner instead.
Boy dinner.
Yeah. Oh, no. I stole it. I made this.
No.
Not to have boy dinner, but to actually, be more conscious of the stuff I'm putting in my body.
As you should.
Yeah. Because today, I drank a margarita and I hurt my tum-tum.
Fun, poor baby.
Mm-hmm. I was a baby.
But we'll be back next week with something else.
Something fun. We're going to try to do something a little bit lighter. I've peppered in some fun, topical, terrible things that are happening in this country throughout this episode. And I'm trying not to do more of that.
Yeah, you're doing a terrible job.
The world is terrible.
You keep adding more. One time I just want to get on here and just yap and not have to worry.
You know what? We'll find a fun yappy topic.
Okay. Well, that's the show. Thanks for watching.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye.